Hello one, hello all. Welcome to Grid Vision, home of the OB Builders Cup Series. Tonight we are live from New Hampshire Motor Speedway here for 200 miles around this great track. Hello, I am Austin Derbyshire. I'm joined tonight by Sheldon Adkins. He is just running a couple moments behind, dealing with some family stuff, but he will be here any given moment. But with that said, let's take a look at we are at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. It is one of the flatter tracks that we do have on the circuit. We can expect about 5 tires behind the walls for the drivers tonight, and incident limit starting at about 13x, but we don't expect to see much of that from these drivers tonight as they are pretty clean. Just over a mile long, asphalt, and at 480 feet latitude, the capacity is 76,000 people. But with that said, let's take a look at last week's results. Taking a look here, we do see that Paul Hill did come home with the victory, with Justin Levine in second and Pasalacqua in third and Benefield in fourth. And that makes some changes to our standings. Oh, they disappeared for a moment. There we go. Brandon Pasalacqua now in the lead by 15 points over Paul Hill, and Justin Levine just behind him by another 15 points. Evan Say and PB Henry just pulling up behind. But with that said, let's take a look at tonight's starting grid for the New Hampshire 200. And on the pole tonight, Evan Say with the Mullins Pole Award. Patrick Gitter to his outside on row 2. P3 tonight is PB Henry with Paul Hill to his outside. Row 3, Matt DiCiani and Luis Becerra to his outside. Lou Christian bringing home P7, and in P8, Adam Benefield. P9 belongs to Ryan Johnson and Joseph Causey rounding out the top 10. P11 tonight, Keegan Sabilo with Tim Wortman Jr. to his outside. Kenny Powell in the next row with Mark Sanchez. All right, and Pasalacqua, our points leader, leading off in row 8 with Tyler Hunter to his outside. Row 9 is Chad Keeby and Jose Medina to his outside. Randy Mullins rounding out row 10 along with Justin Levine. Row 11 tonight from BMP Motorsports, Chris Vincent, who's been having a great run of late, and Chris Hudson to his outside. Team Birdie Racing taking home row 12 with Greg Carr and John Binder to his outside. And rounding out the field tonight is Michael Filguera. As the drivers get ready to get going tonight, we're just going to take a quick listen to the track sounds and we'll be right back. And they are off. Just one lap to go around here. And then 200 miles. Taking a quick look at the weather today, we got a track temp of 109 and air temp of 85 degrees, 29% humidity, and 2-mile-per-hour wind. It is about 3:11 p.m. in Sim. Just got word from Sheldon. He'll be with us in a couple moments. And the pace car is off for the BK Designs green flag, and it is waving. Side by side right away, and Brandon Pasalacqua wanting to get some positions early, but going into turn 1 and 2, it is Say with the lead, and it looks like Gitter is getting a little bit of pace on the outside. Oh, and one car off, hitting the inside wall in the back. We'll take a moment here and see who that is. But up front, it is Gitter who is able to get the lead and lead lap 1. Taking a slightly different line than what we see Evan Say behind. He is going up to that first dotted line there where Say is choosing to go right to the seam. Getting a little bit below the blue, Say is. Moving a little bit further back, we do have some side-by-side action. We do have Adam Benefield battling out with Luis Becerra. Joseph Causey right behind him, keeping off Lou Christian and Tim Ortman Jr. But Benefield with a slightly different paint tonight, looking sharp out there. More side-by-side action throughout the field. Oh, as soon as I say that, they straighten out as Lou Christian tucks in behind Joseph Causey. Actually, sorry, Tim Ortman Jr. Slightly different paint tonight. Some new sponsors on the 28 car and a totally different font style. Taking a little bit of that Hendrick Motorsports influence there. We have a battle for P3 right now as Paul Hill is looking to get around PB Henry and caution out on the track. Looks like Mark Sanchez and Chris Vincent have gotten together. Take a look back in the way back machine, as Joe would say. Yeah, Chris Vincent just coming up a little bit up track and getting into the rear of the 29, and it looks like 29 is probably, oh no, he's still running, but he ain't going to be running like he should after that hit. We'll take another look here from a blimp camera. Just the slightest little tap, but that'll do it. One more view from the cockpit camera. Yeah, as he starts to drift up, we do hear a little bit of tire squeal, but nothing to make you think he was sliding, just unfortunate. Going back live here, we do have a couple cars down the pit, in the pits. Our cars involved in that incident, and then Michael Figueroa and Chad Kibbe deciding to opt out and go take a pit and get some freshies on. Patrick Gitter with another one with a slightly different paint tonight. Repping Team Conti as usual. Actually, I said as usual. I'm pretty sure he usually hasn't been repping the actual logo on his car till now. Either way, very sharp looking car. And lights are out on the pace car, so we will be going back live as soon as we get to the BK Designs restart zone. pace car is off. We are in the BK Designs restart zone, and Gitter getting to the gas right away to get that jump on Evans A. Tracking a little bit up to give the block, but he is taking his normal line like he has been. Evans A trying to do something a little bit different and see if he can't get the jump on Patrick Gitter, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to. Paul Hill taking home P3 now, getting after in that restart, getting around PB Henry, who is in P4. So not a whole lot of change in the early of the race, but maybe the odd position on the restart. Keegan Sabilo getting down low, trying to get around Lou Christian on this restart sequence, currently in P10. Running his own line, keeping a little bit away from the other drivers, but can't really say that about Tim Morton in the background. He is battling hard, getting right beside Tyler Hunter there. But Tyler Hunter just pulling away a little bit and getting the position. And now side by side with Kenny Powell. And Evans A continuing to get down low. I can't wait to see later on in the race if these cars are able to keep their tires on and see what the difference is. All single file till we get to the P12 position of Keegan Sabilo. He elected to stay down low early, but it is not working out for him. It seems like the outside line is able to get around him. Getting down low might be the way to get around the track, but only if you're allowed to track back up on exit of the corner. Still side by side with Tim Wortman Jr. Right when it looks like he's about to get out, just gets right to his quarter panel and keeps him pinned down. Patrick Gitter still up front with Evans A tracking right behind him. Paul Henry. BB Henry right behind Paul Hill and PB Henry right behind him. No change there yet. And Brandon Pasalacqua getting to the outside of Tim Wortman. Getting down low. Now let's see if he's able to do a little bit more than Keegan. Right after we took the camera off there, Keegan was able to get around Tim Wortman Jr. with the help of Justin Levine giving him push around. Trouble a little bit further behind again. Looks like Michael Figueroa had a little bit of trouble, got down low and was against the inside wall again. But taking a look up front, we are getting a little bit closer. Evan is creeping up on the 21 of Gitter. Looks like we might have a battle for the lead, and PB Henry looking for P3 as I say that. Mid corner, he is at the rear quarter of Paul Hill, but not able to get the run yet. Adam Benefield also starting to track a little bit further up, a little bit earlier than we're used to seeing him. Get on board with him here as we see him almost duck all his tires below the blue. As we get a look at the battle for P3 right now as PB Henry looking to get around Paul Hill. But Benefield wants it. Ooh, almost had a contact there. Yeah, sorry, William. It is a little bit quiet at the moment. I'm doing my best. Sheldon is on his way. He just had a little bit of a family issue and will be back with us. And his boisterous self will be here, giving the call like normal. Still single file quite a bit through the field. We have Kenny Powell in P12 with Justin Levine trying to get around him, but not a whole lot going on track. Let's take a cockpit view from Levine here. Oh, as Kenny Powell is able to just let off a little bit and lets him around, it looks like. No, just really good inside of the corner there for Justin Levine. Looks like I am joined in the booth by Sheldon.
No, you're not. I'm not here.
Hello, welcome. Thank you for saving me.
Attempting to here as I try to get into the session right now. Sorry about that, guys. Had a little bit of a away from sim difficulty holding me back from getting in here. But currently, what's the status on things right now, Darby?
We're 22 laps in, one caution so far involving Mark Sanchez and Chris Vinson, but now Gitter is in the lead, Say was on the pole, and we have not had much change. Right now is roughly our best battle we've had in the top 5 right now.
Sounds about right. Sorry, I've got no eyes on anything right now because you're using the new software, aren't you there, Darby?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
PB Henry has got around Paul Hill, but Paul Hill not done with that battle as he tries to get to the inside. Not able to make it stick, so now PB Henry, P3. So 24 laps into the run is when we're starting to see a little bit of the tire fall off, a little bit of change in momentum for the drivers on track. As, Evan Say getting really low there. That's probably one of the lowest lines we've seen, almost to the grass. But getting a really good run off as he is less than a car length behind.
Well, that is absolutely the lines you want to run here, though, at New Hampshire. I ran a Gen 4 race back a couple years ago, and we happened to have Michael Conti in the field for that one, and just running all the way down the apron just gives you such a straight drive off of the corner. We're going to watch Evan send it down here into turn 1, get that left side underneath, keep those right sides up on the apron to kind of lean on here. He'll be able to make the move here, though. Gets past the 21 machine to get her here down the back straightaway.
Yeah, and as we saw there, Gitter did get a little bit loose once Say was to his inside, but Say making the move and taking the lead. Our first lead change of the night minus the start of the race. And Benefield getting to P3 just as we were talking about that.
Haven't shown a lot of pace here early on this evening. It's just all line dependent. You see him down there in that bottom lane. You see another guy just a couple cars back right behind Patrick Gitter, the 83 machine of Adam Benefield, somebody that I really think of when we come here to these flat tracks where it's all about tire management. He's doing the same thing. He's got those left sides up underneath the stripe. He's just about mowing the lawn here through 3 and 4 as he tries to hold off the 95 machine of PB Henry. It looks like Adam walking away here. Great drive off the corner out of turn 4 as he tries to close in on Gitter.
That was one thing that was noted earlier before you arrived. It was just Gitter driving a little bit more aggressively than what we're used to seeing him in the early of the race. But New Hampshire, you know, it just brings out different beast to some people.
No, I feel like, too, Gitter probably feels like he's had a couple races that, he could have had hemmed up pretty easily, kind of taken away from him just by being, the nice guy. Sometimes that strategy works out, when you're around the right crowd, but when you're racing against, guys like what we have here in the Bears Cup Series, some of them, they will take advantage of you. And Gitter just trying to mitigate the damage as much as possible here at the start of a run, but it looks like he's falling off a little bit in these tires because the 83 machine's starting to loom closer in that mirror.
And taking a look at the battle for P13, Keegan Sabilo getting around Kenny Powell, while meanwhile Brandon Pasalakwa just trying to decide on which car he wants to follow through.
And Brandon's another one that I think would be pretty good here tonight. This track kind of falls in his wheelhouse. Every time you see Pasalakwa really show up with a whole lot of speed, it's typically at these tracks where it's a little trickier to get around, these flat tracks and short tracks, and I feel like this might be a good evening for him as well.
Yeah, just inching his way around Kenny Powell. Looks like he probably have it by the end of this next corner set in here. But Kenny has a great drive as soon as I say that. Now, some of the keen-eared listeners here might have heard Sheldon say new software and been wondering what's up with that because the stream looks a lot like what it did before. We have moved over to gridcast.gg. Feel free to go to tv.gridcast.gg and you can watch any of our live streams on channel 6 on your TV tuner there. And then also if you are a streamer looking to have some streaming software, kind of like Race Lab apps or anything like that, we have you covered there. Currently in beta, but we have a whole bunch of channels jumping over and we plan to bring you some of the best graphics iRacing has ever seen.
Also, it's not just us that's on there. I mean, there's a couple of heavy-hitting channels that have decided to adopt their way into Gridcast as well. I'm sure you can name a few of them better than I can, but from the list that you told me over the last couple weeks, it sounds like we're getting pretty stacked pretty quick over there.
Well, as of right now, we do have Pit Stop TV and Precision available on the channel. We have 13 channels available right now. Live streaming 24/7. Well, not live streaming, but streaming 24/7, a different race, different replays, things like that. So head on over to tv.gridcast.gg and check it out. Matt DeCiani up to P5 now.
DeCiani making some pretty quick moves here this evening. Just got past the machine of Paul Hill a little bit ago. Now it's starting to track his way up to the front of the pack. These him and Gitter, man, they've just been running so good this year. And you see DeCiani kind of opting a different route here around New Hampshire. You see everybody else, trying to get as low as they possibly can. That 5 machine just a little bit higher up the hill here, trying to use a little bit more of that progressive banking. Remember, this track is variable banking. The bottom is absolutely flat. And the higher you get up, just each seam has just a little bit more banking to it. And it looks like DeCiani trying to use that as a little bit of a cushion as he tries to close to the back bumper of the 95 machine of PB Henry.
Also, I was mentioning it earlier, Sheldon, before you ride, we have quite a few cars here this week running different paint schemes. Patrick Gitter in a Team Conti paint, looking a little bit different. Benefield's car is slightly different, somewhat the same, but different tones to it. And then also Tim Wortman Jr. is running Hendrick cars. Hendrick Motorsports themed car, I should say.
Yeah, a bit of change up here through the field, but mid-season, it's kind of that point of the year where you get a little tired of the same cars you've ran all year round.
That is John Binder, it looks like, who got a little bit loose there at 23. Able to hold on to it and just keep going and stay in front of Chris Vincent.
He had his hands full there in the Team Birdie Chevrolet. At the front of the pack, though, Evan C. hanging on to the lead up to second place, though, in the last handful of laps. Benefield starting to carve his way closer. Benefield running a different line now. You remember we saw him all the way down to the bottom of the track, majority of this run. Now he's going up the hill here, trying to build a late diamond, a late arc off the corner to get that momentum up. I think that that clean air is definitely the premium this week, and that's why you see Benefield moving around, because that's the last guy that you'd see, you know, getting up there in the marbles.
So with one of the updates to the service is we're able to make our picks mid-race. So if you want to make your pick, go ahead.
Well, Darby, I will say that I am having some technical difficulties right now with software.
Okay.
I have no production feed, by the way. Benefit working the bottom lane here through 1 and 2, starting to close a little bit. Looks like Evan's car kind of giving up on that inside line. Now Evan going to try and come down, throw a little bit of dirty air to the nose of the Team Conti Chevrolet. And right there you see Adam was closing in the last couple corners. Kind of loses a little bit of ground here now that Evan came back down and covered the bottom lane. And Evan is just doing a great job mirror driving that 83 machine right now. That's exactly what you have to do when we come to these flat tracks. If you want to hang on to the lead when you know the car's kind of falling a little bit, you just kind of throw a little bit of dirty air on the nose of the car behind you. It forces them to burn the tires off a little bit extra, and then you kind of end up getting to a point where they equalize with you. That's exactly what the 333 machine's trying to do right now.
Luis Becerra trying to get around Paul Hill. He is successful. Luis Becerra now in P6.
A good run here for Becerra. It's been a bit of an up and down year for the one machine, but showing up with a lot of long run pace here tonight. 42 laps in, closing up to the front of the pack here, passing some pretty heavy hitting names too as he gets down to the inside of PB Henry through 3 and 4. Becerra could very well be a wild card here tonight, especially if we get a late caution. He's able to get on the same straightaway as your race leaders.
Sorry, a little bit of a technical difficulty there. Side by side, Joseph Causey with PB Henry.
Causey working that outside line here out of turn 4, trying to get in front of the 95 machine. He's going to be able to complete the pass here at the start-finish line. Great-looking Kyle Busch tribute paint scheme here at the Magic Mile. You know, of all the years watching this track, you know, I remember a couple Kyle Busch wins here and there, but the thing that I remember the most is when he came out here. It started raining I think it was like lap 15 of the race. Backed the car into the fence, just absolutely destroyed the car, and spent the next lap and a half trying to knock the rear bumper cover off of the Toyota Camry pace car.
Ah, yes, I remember that. This is our closest battle on track right now, though. This is the battle for P8. PB Henry doing a good job of being wide.
Yeah. He's got the Chevrolet wide track out here tonight, but not going to be enough. Here comes Luke Christian down to the inside here on the front straightaway. Third machine taking a peek to the bottom here through 1 and 2, runs him up the hill a little bit, and look at this, Levine around the outside where there is absolutely no grip here. It's not going to work, though. Has to fall back in line behind the 95 machine. Gives him a little bit of a shot down the back straightaway, trying to push PB ahead of Luke Christian. Now, Levine and Christian going to go door-to-door here into turn 3. Christian will get the advantage with the cleaner air. Split in the middle. 3 wide is Levine, though, and he's going to get the drive off the corner. What a move.
Yeah, a great move by Levine there, using PB Henry's misfortune to his benefit and getting into P8, but still side by side with Luke Christian, who's not ready to give up yet, and he's done.
No one around. Joseph Causey spins into turn 3, up into the outside wall. Wrong into the track, but it looks exactly like the wreck I was mentioning earlier. That's going to be caution 2 of the evening, isn't it?
Yes, it is. We'll take a look.
Tell you that right there. That was either a money shift or wheel hop. See him a little loose there through 1 and 2. Causey sends it down to turn 3 here. The back end just never connects to the track there. I feel like maybe he just downshifted a little early and just bounced it off the chip, possibly. See if we can see the onboard here. Yeah, a real big wiggle out of turn 2 there, and it just kind of, if you start building heat in these right rear tires, it's almost impossible to take it out. Yeah, right there, just got, you saw him get to the shift there on corner entry, and then just the car did not like that at all. Did a great job at Causey to keep it out of the wall, though.
The field coming down pit road. Evan Say leading the field. Everyone coming down pit road. Everyone electing to take their 4 tires and fuel. Benefield first one to get going, but we'll see if Evan Say is able to beat him out, and he does.
And there's a drag race there between Benefield and Gitter for second. Benefield just barely gets a nose ahead of the 21 machine. As we talk about new paint schemes and everything, Gitter, new colors on the car. I see new stickers as well.
Yep.
I did not know that old Pat found his way back over to TCSP.
Were they just affiliated before, I believe?
I'm not sure. I was pretty sure they were doing everything independently, but, you know, good for Patrick, I guess.
Yeah, he is rocking the gold logos, so I believe that means he is an ambassador?
I'm pretty sure it's what it is.
Well, Stone Valley, we would love to talk about Owen Morgan, but we want to keep it somewhat civil. But we are not a supporter of Owen Morgan.
We're not a supporter of anybody, aside from OB Builders Cup Series, which puts on some of the best racing that you will see week to week.
Exactly.
I think Darby was Owen Morgan.
It was me, Austin. It was me all along.
Yeah, see the green flag coming out. Back underway as they pass through the BK Designs restart zone. Evan with a great launch. Going to clear up here in front of the 83 machine of Benefield. Benefield's sending it all the way down the hill here into turn 1. Getting the left sides on the paint, trying to get the drive off the corner. Patrick Gitter, though, good launch out of turn 2, working the outside lane. Up at the front of the pack, single file, but from 6 on back, side-by-side action, you see Louis Becerra down to the inside here of Paul Hill. Becerra, great night, but got to be careful. Slides up the hill, loses the nose a little bit, grabs the door of the 26 Dent Slayer Toyota Camry. Now he's in an awkward spot as he tries to shut the door on the 3 of Luke Christian. Almost gets himself turned, but Luke Christian smart enough to crack off the throttle there to let the one machine go.
Yeah, some great side-by-side battling. This is probably the most aggressive we've seen the drivers off a restart since the start of the race. it is a slightly different field than what we had in the front, so it is a bit different. We do now have Justin Levine in the top 10, looking once again to get around Luis Becerra after that restart. It came out a little bit behind him, but now tracking right behind Paul Hill.
Levine right behind the 26 machine of Paul Hill, trying to get past down the back straightaway. Becerra kind of bounces away from the wall there. That makes a near hip check there for him and Levine, as we see the 21 machine of Patrick Gitter working the bottom line here through 3 and 4, but DeCiani going to rip the top and get by. DeCiani now up to P3.
Yeah,
so right here's
what?
So right here's what Matt needs, is a good run. You know, it's been a bit of an up and down season here for the 5 Chevrolet.
Yeah, not quite the runs that we're used to seeing out of Matt DeCiani last year. We had him up to the front quite a bit, not as much as we would expect in the first half as we do near the playoffs. But 3 wide, a little bit further back.
Also, somebody got into the back of Justin pretty heavy. If you look, the rear of the Whatnot Toyota Camry is beat up pretty bad right in the center. You can kind of see it from this camera angle here. We get a look off the nose of Luis Becerra, and you see how it's just folded in there. That's going to be a handful for him as this run goes on. That much damage there, you're going to really be struggling with drive off the corner once those tires get up to temp. See PB Henry trying to get by the 48 machine of Tyler Hunter. Is that new colors for Tyler Hunter this week as well?
Yes, it is.
That is a clean-looking paint scheme right there.
Yeah, Tyler Hunter rocking the EPI logo like normal, just a little bit less yellow and more purple.
That car looks pretty good.
Dago
On the outside line here. I can tell you one thing, EPI has been tearing it up in the B Open this week. I've ran a couple races against a lot of their guys, and man, those cars are just lights out quick. Seems like they got a good package going together here this season. Interesting to see if some of that'll find its way up to the Cup stuff. Right now, Evan Say trying to walk away from the field right now, though, is working a decent little gap between him and Benefield. It's currently sitting at 0.4 of a second. Adam trying to work that inside line. As you look further back in the pack, some more side-by-side action. You see Tim Wortman Jr. down to the bottom of, is that Brian Johnson up there in the 4?
Yes, it is. Another car rocking
Johnson.
Different colors tonight.
Yep, Johnson working the top line here in the corn machine. Going to get a good drive off turn 4 here. Going to pull ahead of the 28 of Wortman as he pulls Kenny Powell along with him. Kenny Powell, another decent run, by the way. You know, his first couple weeks here in the OB Voters Cup Series weren't much to write home about, but, you know, starting here on these short tracks, these flat tracks, he's really been putting together some pretty good pace. Was running around the top 10 all week, all race along at Iowa. If I remember correctly, was just outside of the top 5 last week when we went to Richmond, and here we are again. Another short, flat track, and Kenny Powell's in the mix, so I think we found his wheelhouse.
Oh, there's one thing we know about Kenny Powell is he is a wheelman. I think just, you know, jumping into a new league mid-season, you know, kind of same structure as what you're used to running, and you feel kind of just in bizarre land, and it takes a few weeks to get everything all settled in.
Yeah, he's definitely been doing good here. It's good to see that momentum flowing in a positive direction. I know everybody out here knows Kenny Powell somehow. He's been on the service for a long time, and honestly, pretty good dude when it comes down to it as well.
Yep,
See PB Henry up into the wall there. Out of turn 2. A little bit of contact there for the CFM Chevrolet, but not going to slow him down too much as he tries to dive back down to the bottom, trying to pounce on the 48 machine of Tyler Hunter. A little bit of smoke here through 3 and 4. I think that was somebody coming down pit road, got a little sideways. Let's see about the front. Still quiet here for first and second. Benefit doing everything he can to try and close in on the back of that 333 machine, but Evan just with that clean air, it's going to be so difficult to get by him. It might have to come down to a strategy call here.
Yeah, depending if we get a late yellow or something like that, this is definitely the type of track I'd risk not going or taking 2 tires on.
2-tire fires got me quite a few wins here at New Hampshire throughout the years, and that might be the call here tonight. Although I have heard rumblings that it's not, as good this week as it has been in years past. Heard a couple drivers complain about 2 tires just being very floaty, to say the least. So it's all going to depend on how good the setup adapts to it. As we see Evan working that bottom line there, just grabbing that blue paint. A lot of grip down there if you can get it.
Benefield is inching his way, though.
Yeah, Benefield close a lot there. Almost 0.2 of a second that last lap. I guess we said the old man couldn't do it, and he's decided to prove us wrong. As you see him get up to the back bumper here, down the back straightaway. Up to the top of the hill into 3 and 4 for the 83 machine. Side by side out of turn 4. Benefield with the advantage of the top lane. Evan Say working the bottom here. Out of turn 1. Benefield going to send it deep. He's going to lead that lap, yes. And he's going to get the drive off here. Nowhere for the 333 machine to go. You really need to be able to track out to the wall if you run that bottom lane. It just did not work. Adam Benefield, 67 laps in, your race leader. Don't say it, Darby.
New leader?
Oh, I said 67. I've been traumatized by our friend group.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, good. Look at this, though. DeCiani sneaking up into the mix, just a couple car lengths back from second place. Been a really good night here for Matt.
I would love to see Matt get a podium after the season he's had.
No, we're due for a Matt DeCiani win. Due for a Benefield win as well. I mean, any of the top 4 right now, heck, make it. Realistically speaking, make it the top 10. I mean, any of these guys can get the job done here tonight. A lot of talent in the field.
Yeah, taking a look, everyone there is a former winner in the top 10 right now. So,
I mean, what we say on Tuesday nights? The cream always rises to the top.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we're looking at right now. 70 laps in now. We got PB Henry working the bottom lane, trying to get past the 48 machine of Tyler Hunter. Hunter at the top of 1 and 2, though, going to get the drive down the back straightaway. It's just so hard to make that pass on the bottom here at New Hampshire.
Really do have to send it in to be able to pull up side by side.
Yeah, the only way you can really make a pass on the bottom here at New Hampshire when you're on equal stuff is you basically have to make everybody in the field think you're going to jump the guy that you're trying to pass.
Slide jump.
Yeah, something like that. It never works out, though. You don't have the banking lane on here. It gets it's pretty heated. I mean, you got 2 cautions in this race so far, and I got to give these guys props because all the A Opens and NIS races this week, I mean, we've been sitting around 20 cautions every race. See Becerra taking a look down to the inside of Justin Levine here into 1 and 2. Going to get the run side by side here. Levine washes a little wide through the center. Becerra coming to life here. Good run down the back straightaway, but Levine just going to be able to nose ahead slightly here into turn 3. But Becerra going to send it deep again. Is he going to be able to complete the pass here? Up the hill, almost threw him a door there. Be careful with that with Levine. But here we go. Becerra moves himself up into P6.
What a great move by the 1 car on screen, 12 car on the ticker. We definitely got to get him to update that number there.
Yeah, I think this is the most pace we've seen out of Becerra this year.
Outside of the super speedway, most certainly. He is having a fantastic run tonight.
Yeah, really just got to figure it out here on this flat track. And this is not an easy track to run quick laps at. This is a track that's all about patience. All about modular braking and just being careful not to burn up your stuff too early. This is a track where, I mean, my first experience with New Hampshire back in the day was running it on NR 2003, and I thought I was lights out quick that race in the league I was in. I blew 2 right front tires. So it's really easy to have the car get away from you here, as we see now PB Henry trying to get past the 3 machine of Luke Christian.
Yeah, as we get later in the run, we do see the ebb and flow of BB Henry's ride starting to get a little bit more life to it. And he's able to get up side by side with P3, whereas just 10 laps ago, these cars were passing him.
That's a team I got to give a tip of the cap to as well, by the way. CFM has really put a good foot forward this year. There's been a lot of growth from what I've witnessed up here in the booth with that program. A lot more top 5s, a lot more top 10s. But above all else, I mean, it's a lot more wins. They've had both PB Henry in victory lane as well as Evan C. Evan C is definitely a perennial favorite for race wins here in this series. And it's good to see, you know, somebody else get a chance to climb up there to the top of the totem pole, especially with these setup shops, because it's you know, if you pull something over on the big 3, it's pretty tricky.
Can we say big 2 now?
Big 2.5.
All right. Ooh, PB Henry just inching ahead of Luke Christian for a moment, getting out of the corner. Oh, PB Henry
he gets loose. That's an easy mistake right there. He gathers it back up, though, keeps it in one piece. Only loses 2 spots in the process, but up here at the front of the pack, here comes Evan C. down to the bottom again through 3 and 4. And Evan wants to take a chance back up here at the lead.
He did have the lead for a good portion of the last corner there. I'm starting to think that our man Benefield might have got a little bit loose.
I'm thinking that top line might not be what's cracked up. See what happens here into 3 and 4. Evan just, I think, doing a bit better of a job at saving tire right now.
Yeah, he just sent it in and got it done well. It's about as much as you can ask for when getting into turn 3 and 4 there.
Yeah, but here we go back around the top. Here comes Benefield, gets up there by a nose. Evan almost was able to clear, couldn't shut the door in time, though. Here comes Adam Benefield back around the outside lane. Benefield now running even higher, up into the gray almost here. Lane that you don't really see used that much here at the Magic Mile. Now up over the bumper, now to the bottom into turn 1. Here comes the 83 machine. This battle for the lead is far from over.
Benefield with a fantastic run off the top line there with that little line that he was able to pull there. Was not expecting to have as much speed as he did.
Yeah, got a little wiggly though in that bottom lane. Had to fall back a little bit now, taking a peek again into the bottom of 3 and 4. This line that Adam's running right here, this is what I've always referred to as the Conti line. And not because of the TCSB stickers on the car, but I ran a Gen 4 race here back a couple years ago. And the first time I'd ever seen anybody do that was Michael Conti. Just ran all the way down to the grass almost on both ends of the track. And I'm sitting there thinking, there's no way that's going to last. And then, you know, 30 laps on the run, Conti's pulled the entire field by 15 seconds.
Yeah, it sounds like a Michael Conti type thing to do.
Yeah, you know. I think he's still got it.
Oh, he could definitely compete if he still wanted to. But Joseph Causey up to P13 after his little incident.
Yeah, Causey on the recovery tour right now. He's down to the inside here, the 8 machine of Kenny Powell. Powell up the hill here through 1 and 2. Causey cutting the corner here. Not going to be able to clear here, though. Kenny's going to get a good run off of turn 2. Going to be side by side here into turn 3. Causey sends it deep again, down to the grass almost. And nothing Kenny can do here. Causey's got him clear out of 4.
Kenny just electing to give him the bump instead of diving to the inside. Kenny liking that outside line. Pulling up the grid vision weather. 107 on track, so we have gone down a degree. 85 degree air temperatures, so down a couple couple degrees in air temperature. 4:42 p.m. on track.
Somebody also got to give a shout out to sitting back there in the 8th spot right now, Luke Christian. I've noticed the past couple weeks that 3 machine's been kind of climbing up the scoring pylon week after week, putting together some really good runs here in the summer stint. It'll be interesting to see what happens when we get later in the season, because it seems like he's starting to figure this car out a little bit better, figure out the sets a little bit better. Been a good couple weeks here for driver number 3.
Yes, Luke Christian is one of those drivers that we can usually expect to see up near the front, unless he was involved in something. Take a look next week, though. We are going to Daytona International Speedway for one of the fastest tracks on the circuit, one of my favorites, and we're definitely going to see some shakeup next week, that's for sure. It's anyone's race.
I'm so excited. It's Daytona season, man. Hopefully it goes better for me next week than it did in league on Sunday night, though, because that was a pretty rough one.
Now, is that Daytona still the regular season end?
Negative.
Okay.
I don't think so, anyway. They've changed so many things the past couple years, it's actually kind of hard for me to keep up with anymore.
It doesn't matter. NASCAR's coming back to Canada.
Are we actually?
Yeah. Back at Canadian Tire next year. Labor Day weekend.
What series?
Trucks.
Good, man. They should have never left, honestly.
It was COVID.
Yeah, I know. But COVID's been over for 5 years now.
Has it?
I don't know. We're not going to dip our toes into that one here, because
that's even more controversial than Owen Morgan.
Owen Morgan, yeah. Maybe it was Owen Morgan that ate the bat.
Penguin.
That pangolin, there we go. No. All right, Randy Marsh, I need you to sit down for a minute, buddy.
Shelly? No,
we're not doing this. We're not doing this. Oh, man. Stuff you get into when you've known a guy for nearly a decade. I have to say, though, saw a little subject change here. Good to see Randy Mullins back in the field here tonight. Went on a bit of a summer break. Took the kid racing for a majority of the summer. And some pretty good results, too, from what I read. From what he sent me. Raced up at Riverhead and a bunch of other short tracks across the country just about. And a lot of good results. Good year for the Mullins camp, that's for sure.
For those curious, that is Thomas Mullins, and he is the sponsor of the pole award that Evan Say won.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's always good to see that 54 machine back on the track. It's been a little empty up here in the booth without seeing that car riding around.
Yeah, definitely like to see Randy Mullins around. Honestly, and also the 54 is one of the nicest numbers on track.
Yeah, reading through some of the stats he actually sent to me. I went to Riverhead, which Riverhead, historic, well-known circuit, same circuit that you could expect to see Freddie Kraft or Tommy Baldwin floating around. Went there, came home P2, went to Viola Boys in Illinois, and started third. Came home P10, went to Iowa for the U.S. Kart Nationals and swept the event, which that is impressive on its own, as well as qualified on the pole, won the heat, dash for cash, and the A-main for the OMA National Championship. For the National Championship. So, pretty stellar couple weeks there.
That would be quite the summer, go around with your dad, racing.
Oh, man,
core
you
memory
can't.
Right there.
You can't beat that right there, because not only are you getting trophies and getting wins and building up that confidence as a young race car driver, but you're also making memories that you're going to carry for the rest of your life. And that's what it's all about right there. That's what we love racing for, is because it is a family sport. Each one of those drivers you see on track, anytime you go to a local short track, they got mom, they got dad down there in pit road, they got brothers and sisters, and everybody contributes in some way, shape, or form. And it's just it's a great sport for that reason alone. the front of the pack right now. Evan C. still holding on to the lead. Adam Benefield running P2 with Matt DeCiani in third. Fourth place, the 21 machine Patrick Gitter. Put together a good night here from the Granite State, followed by Paul Hill in fifth. Lee Bezera, standout night here in the sixth spot currently, with Justin Levine riding P7. And running at the top 10, you get the 3 machine Lou Christian, keeping the momentum alive with PB Henry and Tyler Hunter.
Okay, hold up. New Hampshire's called the Granite State?
Yes, sir.
I thought all they had was like crabs and stuff.
Oh, there's lobster, but no, it's Granite State. Pretty sure it is. That's what I was told growing up.
Huh. Learn something new every day.
Yeah.
A little bit dicey there between Lou Christian and PB Henry, and a battle right behind with Johnson and Tyler Hunter. It's been going for a while, this battle. Oh, Causey sending it.
Look at Joe. If there's somebody that's going to... The thing about Causey is he looks at it this way. I paid for the tires. I'm going to use all of them. And that is what you're seeing out of the 88 machine right now as he plants it down to the bottom of the track, sending it probably about 5 or 6 miles an hour quicker than he should. But he's getting a good run out of the process. And meanwhile, you got the polar opposite back there, Mr. Conservative, keep everything in one piece, Keegan Sabilo, putting together a pretty solid run here tonight. But he's probably just sitting there judging every move Causey's making right now. As we've seen, Causey has, gone from backwards into the fence, back to being a top 10 hunt, or a threat for the top 10 here. As he's starting to close into the back bumper, the 4 machine of Brian Johnson.
Yeah, Brian Johnson with some really good pace tonight. We saw him side by side with Tyler Hunter there for several laps, but as soon as he got out from side by side of him, just pulling away. Oh, and Levine a little bit loose.
Well, Johnson's another one that's been kind of pulling it together here in the later half of the year. The last couple weeks he's been running pretty stellar as well. It just it feels like to me as a whole Paradigm as an entire team. Last year we talked about Passalacqua week in, week out. Because he was the best. He stood ahead of the rest of his teammates by a fairly decent margin. And this year it really feels like all the Paradigm guys have just kind of reined it in and been putting together really good runs. We saw Josh Schaffner running top 10 a couple weeks ago at Iowa. We obviously see Passalacqua up at the front. Brian Johnson's been sitting around the top 10 here pretty frequently. It's been a while since we've seen Crosby in the field, I feel.
Crosby is actually no longer in the lead.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. It was always fun having that bright yellow number 9 Chevrolet, but we haven't had Crosby in a while, and it's been a little bit since Mullen's been behind the wheel of a car. It's going to take him a little bit of time to get his feet wet, get back into his A game. But Mullins had some pretty stellar runs before he went on his break with the kid as well. So it just feels like Paradigm as a whole, that whole organization really starting to get a good footing here in the OB Builders Cup Series.
Most certainly, especially with Brandon being as dominating as he is all year. Well, not dominating, but consistently up front all year.
And this right here, though, if you're looking at the points battle, this is going to be kind of a red flag night here for Passalacqua, because he's currently been sitting, 16th place. It hasn't been what we're used to seeing out of the 6 Chevrolet. Meanwhile, we got Paul Hill sitting there in 5th place. Remember, it was a very close margin in points the last couple weeks, and it looks like tonight's going to be that night that Paul Hill, if everything stays how it is right now, knock on wood, I don't want to jinx anybody here, but if Paul Hill is able to bring it across the line where he's at right now, it's going to be a great evening for him.
Yeah, Paul Hill was 15 points behind the leader, Brandon Passalacqua, and then 15 points behind him is Justin Levine in 3rd. So 30 points separating 3rd to 1st.
And the fact that Justin Levine is where he's at in points right now, too, is just is mind-boggling, because it felt like the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, that car was around 30 laps into the race. The only place you'd find it was behind the wall on pit road.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we were a good 12 races in, and he still wasn't even in the top 15 in points. So it's just been a great late spring and summer for him.
Just climbing up that totem pole here as we see Levine has pit here. We got a couple other cars coming out pit road. The 6 machine, Brandon Passalacqua bringing in, and we got a caution on the Speedway though.
Unfortunate.
And this is going to be a heartbreaker for some of these guys here.
Trying to take a look through the field.
We were talking about things getting better for Justin. Now this is the worst case scenario, or would it be worst case Ontario? Oh man, 25 machine head on into the fence there. The back straightaway looked like him and maybe Mullins got together.
Yeah, we're gonna go a little bit further back, get a little bit more visual on what happened here.
So Greg Carr sending off here into 1 and 2. Based on how big of a gap they had coming in, I wonder if maybe he got loose or tagged the fence. Yeah, definitely loose. Oh, man, he spun before the 54 even got to him. Yeah. Mullins didn't even touch him there. Just hospital hop down the back straightaway, and it's just slammed the fence. And I'm surprised that actually threw a caution, because Carver's mostly straight there. It's going to be really rough here. Justin Levine's able to get back on the lead lap through this sequence, luckily. But Brandon Pasalacqua trapped currently a lap down, hoping for another caution to come out.
Very unfortunate for our points leader.
He currently scored in 21st position as he's still sitting on pit road right now. Looked like he might have been fixing a little bit of damage from the OB Builder Chevrolet.
Yeah, I believe he would have fixed it last caution, because he did have a little bit of a touch-up with another driver in their opening laps, but nothing major.
Yeah. Must have been something, because he stayed on there for a little bit after they put the jack down. So I think they might have been pulling a fender somewhere on the 6 Chevrolet. Maybe some toe link got messed up. We couldn't see. So I feel like if you sneeze on these cars, you bend a toe link.
That's the way it be in, well, the current gen? Is that what we're calling it now? Or Gen 7? What are we calling it?
I call put it in the trash can is what I call it, but apparently that's not, a popular thing to say. Well, it is popular, but some people don't like to hear it.
I like the cars. We're never going to get back to the racing that we had in the early 2000s, so I would say we're doing pretty good with what we have.
If you like a car that creates an aero vacuum from 6.5, 7 tenths of a second back and nobody can close the bubble, absolutely, let's go. But see that racing pace car making the dive down pit road back into the BK Designs restart zone, and we are back underway here from New Hampshire. Good clean launch for Evan C. up here at the front of the pack. Going to pull ahead here into turn 1. Benefield going to throw a little bit of a late block there on the 5 of DeCiani. You see Paul Hill up at the top of the hill here, trying to make up a couple easy spots. And look at the jockeying for position in the back. You see Pasalacqua pretty much go all the way down and kiss the grass on the back straightaway.
Saw him do that at the beginning of the race as well, trying to get a few positions from.
Oh, one car into the wall there. I think it was the 4 machine of Brian Johnson out of turn 4.
Yes, it is. Car looking fine, though.
Right behind Keegan Sabilo, as you see Keegan trying to work that outside lane here to get past. Is that the 21 machine of Patrick Gitter? He got mired back in traffic here. Lowest he's run all night. You see him go down to the bottom here into 3 and 4, trying to solidify that 8th spot. Up to the fence there now for the 3 of Luke Christian.
Tough circumstances for Luke Christian. He is holding on to the rear of the 1 or 12 car there.
Pretty sure Benefield just ran the fastest lap of the race right there on that last lap.
Yes, he did.
That's what my crew chief app just told me.
Oh, and just been eclipsed
there's
by
Evan.
So these new tires with the temperatures dropping, making some major difference. So yeah, we're down to 101 track temp now, so we are getting cooler.
See the field starting to single file out here right now. And man, rough break there for Levine. Oh, we got one car around in the back straightaway.
Brian Johnson.
The 4, Brian Johnson, heavy hit to the inside wall. And a fair amount of damage to the front of the Pioneer Chevrolet.
Benefield once again taking back the fastest lap.
Yeah, these two, they're playing with each other up here at the front of the back right now. Benefield's over the mic right now, cracking jokes to Evan. Just your standard experience having Adam in the field and running well. We get a look here at what happened with the 4 machine of Brian Johnson. Sends it off here into 1 and 2. Goes offset here to try and get a little bit clean air to the nose. Running behind Sabilo. Comes out of turn 2 and it's just going to get loose right here. Snaps right around on him. Turn 2 is so treacherous here at New Hampshire that, you know, it doesn't get talked about enough. Because the two corners, you know, they look exactly identical, but there's just the slightest difference with the banking fall off through 1 and 2 as opposed to 3 and 4. 3 and 4, it feels like you can really just be aggressive with the throttle, power the car up to the wall. 1 and 2, though, there's like a little point where it's kind of hilly almost, feeling like there's a little bit of fall off there, and it grabs that right rear tire the wrong way, and it will just absolutely throw you. It de-wedges the car really bad.
We do have our new improved track map widget up top. A little bit laggy. We'll be getting that a little bit smoothed out in the next few weeks, but it is accurate, and that's what we like to see.
See Evan hold on to the lead here out of turn 4. Just a couple car lengths separating him and Adam Benefield. A couple car lengths separating Benefield from DeCiani. Patrick Gitter has found his way back into the top 5, back up to 4th place here. Moving through this traffic pretty quick is the 21 Chevrolet as we right on board down the backstretch. Really cool paint scheme there for Gitter. And look at this, Louis Becerra has worked his way up into the 5th spot. A really good night here for the 1 machine.
Ooh, Sabilo.
See, oh yeah, working the outside lane here through 3 and 4. You don't see that often. Paul Hill got a little bit tight in front of him, and Keegan trying to stay off the back bumper of his buddy there, just, you know, chase it up a little bit.
PB Henry and Lou Christian once again battling. They got a little bit together there. Not much, though. Probably just 0x, if anything.
Oh, I don't know about you, Darby, but I can make a 0x turn to a 4x real quick.
Bet you can.
Oh, Lou Christian up into the fence there. That was likely a 2x.
I just got to show up on track, and I guarantee you there's 4x happening.
4x, man, I can guarantee you that's at least 16.
Wouldn't be hurtful.
That's because you keep getting wrecked by lap cars, man. It's not your fault.
Oh, it's always my fault. But Evan Say still in the lead with that Benefield right behind him.
That was beyond depressing. Oh, my Lord.
We don't race. Oh, behind Kenny Powell.
Oh, no, Kenny Powell.
Caution is out. Kenny Powell just trailing behind Keegan Sabilo. Tries to get low.
I think they maybe... Oh, no contact there. Just close.
Yeah, just a little bit of aggressiveness and getting around. Aggressive goes around.
See the 8 machine. Get everything loaded back up. back onto the racetrack here. Right on board again, out of turn 2. Right there, it's that transition between the bottom and the middle lane there. Came to bite Kenny. Tire field on pit road right now. And 120 laps on the board out at 200.
Oh, two-tire fire.
As that point of the race, you got to get that track position.
He did it. He did it. And get her as well. Looks like we had 3 drivers who went for the fire.
Yep, get the 240 Chevrolets up the front, decided to go for two-tire fire. CFM has an entry in that mix as well, with PB Henry choosing to, and he's going to jump quite a few spots up the grid here.
Once again, though, a friendly reminder while we're under caution to everyone watching the broadcast to head over to www.gridcast.gg, register. Same situation as what we had with our old site, gridvision.live. Get on there, put on your photo, get all your driver info. Just now we got a whole bunch of leagues on there and a whole bunch of channels, so you're going to be able to have all your data saved across all the channels that you race on.
The best way to explain it is Darby and the boys here have created Speed Vision for iRacing, because everywhere you go, you're just going to be able to find great high-quality broadcasts just sitting at your computer or your phone.
We even have a trivia channel you could go to. I believe it is channel 3. You can do the trivia. Then channel 5, we have the iRacing schedule as well. So you can always check the schedule there and not have to go on to open up the UI. Green flag is out. The BK Designs restart zone. Evan Say getting quite the restart there. And side by side all the way back.
DeCiani holding the race lead here into turns 1 and 2. 3 wide. A couple cars around, though, in the back. Sideways across the field. Through 1 and 2. I think that was the 33 machine of Chris Vinson. Tim Wortman Jr. is also caught up in it.
Luis Becerra, we done jinxed them.
And sorry, that was not Chris Vinson. That was Tyler Hunter. Got into turn 1, and the back end just steps around right in front of Causey and company.
So yeah, we see the caution behind, and then we do see Luis Becerra have a little bit of an incident here as well, all on his own. It's not the actual reason for the caution, but we'll get another look at the actual caution reason here in a moment. But that was Luis Becerra going around.
Good night out the window there for Luis Becerra, because that's got toe link damage written all over it. Take a look here what happened to the 48 machine. Tyler Hunter just gets into the corner, and the back end just never connected. Dead sideways there in front of the field, tries to chase it down to avoid having any more issue. And you know, once you heat up that right rear tire like that, it really takes a while for this next gen car to stop trying to kill you, so you can't really put a whole lot of input in it. Just kind of chases down the hill in front of Tim Wortman Jr.
Good. Oh, well, it was a good save up until that hit, but yeah, one more look at that incident. Yep, fresh tires, just sending a little bit too hard. Oh, what a hit for Junior there. Matt DeCiani holding on to the lead after the 2-tire call. We'll see if he's able to get the start again as the lights go out on the pace car. He opts to take the inside row.
You know, I think this is the most Most yellows we've had here in an OB race in probably a couple months.
New Hampshire, though, like I wouldn't.
It's a tricky track.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect
yeah.
it. They've been
No,
doing
like,
well for New Hampshire. Like we are. Well, I'm gonna knock on wood, but you know we're at a low count.
I'll put it this way: we're at 4 cautions right now for this race. If this was an A Open, we'd already be at least 12.
How many laps is A Open?
I think A Open is 130. And I think the NIS is 150 this week. Did you see the iRacing pace car making the dive down pit road? Matt DiCiani through the BK Designs restart zone. Good launch for the 5 machines. He's able to clear about a car length and a half to his teammate Patrick Gitter. Gitter aggressive on braking, though, closing up here through 1 and 2. So we see PB Henry working the bottom lane on those 2 tires, struggling a little bit, not getting the drive off the corner that he's looking for. Here comes Benefield taking a peek to the inside of the 95 into 3.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of different. Sorry, I'm losing my ability to speak the language here.
Causey, heavy hit with the wall.
Strategies here. We're going to see a lot of that.
Causey hits the wall and doesn't lose any speed. Down to the bottom now of Keegan Sabilo here through 1 and 2.
Looks like he gave Paul Hill a little bump as well. Oh, Benefield.
Oh, Benefield. That's something you don't see often.
3 wide.
Benefield going to lose a whole lot of time here in one of the most crucial moments of the race. Just gets loose out of turn 2. The same mistake we've seen by numerous drivers here today as we get a look at the replay. Just working that inside lane there. That's out of turn 3 and 4 there. The lap prior across the line back into 1 and 2. This is the inside. I think he just grabs that transition wrong, maybe?
Go back and try and get that again.
Benefield back to the rear bumper. Keegan Sabilo, though, now down to the bottom here into 1 and 2. Oh, we got a wreck.
Oh.
Couple cars sideways on the back straightaway all the way down to the infield wall.
That's what I get for showing the replay.
And I think that one was Chris Vincent in the 33. Gets loose from 5th place, and Paul Hill just doesn't have the time to react. See it here on the replay. Vincent up at the top of the hill here. Trying to get by the 83 machine. Okay, there's Benefield's slide a couple laps earlier. Here's a replay of the instant into turn 1. Vincent goes up the hill, or the back end of that car is going to step out here on corner exit. Just a little too early on the throttle. And Paul Hill just was not expecting the 33 machine to slow down so much. Look at Adam Benefield dead sideways there and saves it. Also hearing there was a little bit of contact for Keegan with somebody trying to avoid that wreck. And luckily for Keegan, no damage to the back of the car, so he should be all right. This right here, this is what the guys that took 2 tires up to the front of the field are really hoping for. These constant cautions, giving them opportunity to cool those left sides down, lower the pressures a little bit, kind of regain the balance that the car would have on 4. These guys are going to be a lot more equal to these other drivers that took 4 on that last caution because now they've had time to just chill those tires out. As we see a little bit of friendly door contact between Keegan Sabilo and Joseph Causey here through 1 and 2. I want to wind that one back. See if Keegan gives it back to him. I don't think he will.
not a shot.
No. Oh, here we go again, Causey. A little bit of a hip check there.
Wow.
That's
133.66 to go.
You know, People always talk about wanting to find drivers to like their characters. If you're looking for a character in the field, it's going to be the driver of that 80H Toyota Camry. Joseph Causey is probably one of the most unhinged people that have ever been put behind the wheel of a sim rig here. Okay, let's go give them a little bit back here on the back straightaway. They're door to door here, revving at them. I wouldn't believe that these two race out of the same Discord channel. Racing pace car makes a dive down pit road, field in the hands of DeCiani into the BK Designs restart zone and back up through the gears for the 5 machine. Clean launch up at the front of the field. Everybody settling out pretty quick, but for second place, Evan Say going to try and get down to the inside of Patrick Gitter here through 1 and 2. A little bit of a check up at 3 wide, almost out of turn 2. Keegan Sabilo scrapes the fence a little bit, tracking behind the 95 of PB Henry. At the top of the hill is a 77 machine. Here comes the 88 of Causey, now down to the bottom of the 95 of PB Henry. Henry finds the momentum, though, grabs the drive off the corner, closes back up to the rear end of his CFM teammate.
Yeah, PB Henry looking like he's getting a great drive right now on the outside line there, inching ahead of Joseph Causey as the 77 and the 88 try and come up with a new attack plan to get around him. A little bit further back, a battle that we have not seen in the top 10 yet. We have Chris Hudson and Kenny Powell battling P7.
Yeah, Kenny Powell working on recovery drive as well. We saw him get, squirreled up a handful of laps ago. And back up around the top 10 for Kenny Powell. Good run for him. And how about this, man? Chris Hudson, it's been a no good year for the driver of that 43 machine. Just bad luck, heartache, and the car's just not working exactly how he was hoping they would. Putting together a really good drive here, though, from New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Yeah, one of the channel's favorite paint schemes out there. A little bit of chrome, a little bit petty blue. Nice car.
All around, good guy behind the wheel of that car, too. And one of the nicer people you'd come across here in the garage.
And Justin Levine continuing his charge back up after getting caught lap down on the pit cycle that he tried to initialize there.
Go figure, right? The one time Justin doesn't stay out 10 to 15 laps past everybody else is when you get a caution.
Yeah, and that's why he does what he does.
Yep. He ain't going to pit for the rest of the year, I can promise you that. Right now, I can tell you over the radio, Justin's probably just hoping these two figure it out in front of him, but now he's going to try and shoot the middle here through 3 and 4 to get past Chris Hudson.
Yeah, he splits him.
Clears the 43 machine out of turn 4, now battling with the 8 of Kenny Powell. Sends it deep in the corner, a little bit of a wiggle there for the 19, almost goes around, but able to pull the slide job. And just like that, Levine's back up to P7.
So a New Hampshire slide job is just when you get loose on the inside and track up.
A New Hampshire slide job involves a set of skid marks, but the question is it from the car or is it from the driver?
Ooh. Kenny Powell to the, not Kenny Powell, I'm sorry, Brad Passalacqua to the inside. I saw the curve number kind of look like an 8 for a moment.
Yeah. They don't teach you numbers up there, do they?
No.
Just bags of milk up there in Canada.
Yeah, bags of milk. It's how many liters are in this bag of milk?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. Passalacqua working on the recovery drive, though. Remember, he got trapped a lap down as well back in 21st when the caution came out during the pit sequence. So, running a little bit better than he was earlier, too, with that little bit of damage. Maybe the 6 machine's going to show us something here in the closing stages of this race, but only 60 laps remaining. And it's this is not an easy track to carve through traffic at 60 laps, I can tell you that. Up at the front of the pack is still DeCiani and Gitter with the 2-tire call leading the field.
I'm honestly surprised that the 2 tires are as powerful as they've been.
Well, one of the things guys fight the most with here at New Hampshire is the car being a little too tight. You go with 2 tires, you kind of free it up a little bit. And it seems like it's working in their favor, especially the clean air. I mean, if there's one thing that helps a no-handling race car, it's getting that nose out there in clean air. And I wouldn't say that either one of the Fortis Motorsport Chevrolets were ill-handling to begin with. Right on board with Causey here, back in 5th place. Stellar run for driver number 88. One thing you're seeing right now is just how smooth he is behind the wheel. As we got another caution on the Speedway. Nope. Oh, that's who did it.
Michael, his 3rd incident tonight, 2nd caution.
A break there for the 10 car. Sometimes you just end up with that driver setup track combo and it just doesn't work out too well. As you see, it just gets a little tight here with the 48 machine of Tyler Hunter. 2 cars get hooked together and round goes to the 10.
One more view from the cockpit.
Hang on board with Michael here. In the back straight when he throws in the door in the middle of the corner and they just kind of stay hooked together down the back straightaway. I think Tyler might have been trying to break the 10 machine off of him there. As the field comes down pit road here, 4 tires and fuel. Going on halfway these cars. The question is, who's going to go with the 2-tire fire this time? Running board's right up into the fence almost. I think he might have given him a little hand there.
Definitely some shake-up on pit road as some cars did take 2 tires. Paul Hill taking a long pit stop and losing a bunch of positions. But from what I've seen, I believe it is P6 and up who never went in.
Not sure what's up with Paul Hill with that long stop. Wonder if maybe he had some damage or something he had to tend to.
Yes, and Paul, from everyone from P6 up, from Luke Christian through P1, did not come down pit road. So we definitely have some difference in tires here. We're looking at about 13 laps.
Well, we're about to find out how much tires matter or how much tires don't matter here at New Hampshire tonight.
Yeah, and that's also, we got to keep in mind that lots of these cars up front, that's only 13 laps on the right side of their car. The left side's even older.
Yeah, DeCiani and Patrick Gitter got the oldest tires in the field right now with their left sides. They've been on there for quite some time. We're talking two, 3 pit sequences ago. You mix in the heat cycles too, and this could put them in a little bit of a detriment here. As you see the iRacing pace car making the dive down pit road into the BK Designs restart zone and back underway here. A good launch there for DeCiani and Gitter on the front row.
We have dropped another 4 degrees in temperature.
Oh, Vincent up the hill there into the 3 machine of Luke Christian.
Yeah, Double Dale can't be doing that to Dale.
And look at this, Basilacqua back up to 8th spot now. As you see, Luke Christian trying to pull ahead of the 33 machine of Chris Vincent here down into turn 1. Joseph Causey all over the back bumper of the triple. And around and sideways off the nose there. The 6th machine, Brandon Pasilacqua. Just when I was talking about the good fortune, it's all gone.
It looks like he tagged Keegan when he was coming down.
See what happens here. It starts on the bottom there, or the top there. Luke Christian gets loose. And just unfortunate stack up, and that is going to be the sixth machine done. You see the left front tire not turning on Passalacqua Chevrolet. That is a blown upper control arm. That's going to be behind the wall for the rest of the night. Unfortunately for Keegan Sabila, just victim of circumstance there. Nothing you could have done to avoid that one. Right on board with Passalacqua here. See that 3 get loose. It's not much you can do, especially when you got somebody on your back bumper like that. That's it. That's a meatball. Great save by Sabilo, by the way.
Yeah, you should be able to see that tire.
Yeah, it's left front has left the chat, everybody.
So once again, under caution, it is our 5th caution of the night on lap 150, 3/4 of the race complete.
And I think this right here might just go and put Paul Hill back in the points lead.
Almost.
Depending on how Paul finishes this race out.
Yeah, this even in the position he's in, this would put him back in because, judging by my calculations, he'd be earning about 20 points more than Brandon would be as of right now.
This season is honestly kind of reminding me. I'm about to dig way back into the archives on this, but this kind of reminded me a little bit of that 2002 Winston Cup Series season.
Now, hear me out.
And
sorry, go ahead.
That year felt like you didn't want to lead the points. Sterling Marlin dominated the first half of the season. A couple bad incidents knocked him out of the points, and a broken neck took him completely out of contention as a whole. And it became a toss-up between Mark Martin, Jimmy Johnson, and Tony Stewart as to who was going to win the championship, and it was looking more so in favor of Martin and Jimmy Johnson for majority of the season. And then you get to those closing weeks, and Tony Stewart just goes on one of those characteristic Tony Stewart late season drives and walks home with hardware at the end of the year by a relatively thin margin too, because it felt like every time somebody had a shot at it, something would happen on track and take them out of it, and that's what it feels like we're seeing right here. You see the lights out on the iRacing pace car now, working through 3 and 4, getting ready to go back green here. Into the BK Designs restart zone yet again, and back underway here. Patrick Gitter with the launch. He's going to pull ahead of his teammate here into turn 1, the 21 machine to the top of the board.
Once again, great restart from Gitter. Seems that we saw earlier in the race, not so much recently, but he is in the lead now. And Luke Christian recommended.
Oh, no.
Oh, and he alt F forward. So no caution on track.
Luke Christian is the GOAT for that.
That's why he's the GOAT. The replay teed up in just a moment. Actually, no. According to mine, he actually got disqualified, not alt F forward.
Oh,
and Kibbe
car
around.
heavy into the wall, out of turn 2. Multiple into the fence as well. The 48 machine, Tyler Hunter involved. Chad Kibbe was the car you saw spin across the line there.
All right, we'll start with a replay of Luke Christian's final incident that had him disqualified.
See what happens here. He just gets a little loose. Adam gets up into the left rear quarter pound, and around goes the 3 machine.
I love how the trail of tires keeps going, but the car's gone.
Oh yeah, somewhere in cyberspace, the 3 machine is still spinning.
And now to the caution.
Also, something happened with Levine. I'm wondering if he got a penalty, but he is currently scored 21st, just left pit road. And a little bit of contact there.
Talk about unfortunate for Tyler Hunter. Barely clipped him. Go on board with Tyler Hunter in the replay here. See Chad Kibbe get loose in front of him. Bounce the wall, and him hitting the wall just made him bounce out to him. Yeah.
Yeah, there's just nothing Tyler Hunter couldn't even expect that to happen.
We're back live.
Jose Medina over the radio apologizing here to Tyler Hunter for the, or Chad Kibbe for the contact. And two working it out pretty well. So good to see no bent feelings on this one.
These drivers have been together so long. It's even though they're the competition, it's hard to stay that mad at them for a long period of time. Unless we're talking about certain beefs between a certain couple drivers. Once again, though, make sure to join us next week for round 26, Daytona International Speedway.
Can confirm, by the way, it was a drive-through penalty for Justin Levine, which is why he was being scored in 21st place. He had to come down and take a pass-through when the green flag came out. Luckily for him, the caution came out as soon as he returned to the racing surface, so doesn't lose a lap or any time at all.
Yeah, you gotta love it when that happens.
Question is the chaos over, or do we still have more to endure here? And one guy that's hoping that it goes clean and green to the end here is that 21 machine of Patrick Gitter up at the front of the field. It's been a stellar night here for the Fortis Chevrolets, but not going to be easy. You got Evan Say up there on that outside line. He's led a lot early in the night. But through the BK Designs restart zone and back underway, Patrick Gitter gets the launch. A little bit of a helpful hand from his teammate, Matt DiCiani, back there in third. But look at this around the outside lane. The 333 machine really putting some pressure to your race leader. Going to get a good launch and a little bit of contact there. DiCiani hangs wide up onto the left door of Joseph Causey. Causey going to bully his way through down the back straightaway into 3.
Causey in his highest position of the night.
Oh, DiCiani gets into him. He turns him out of 4. And huge crash on the front straightaway. Sabilo's in it. PB Henry is around.
Yeah, Causey did everything he could to save it there, and it just turned into one of those long, long wrecks. Applebee's commercial in the middle of it.
And boy, it has been a chaotic one here from Nashville. And we just take a look here. DiCiani gets a little bit high there, gets up to the left rear quarter panel. They get hooked together here on the front straightaway. PB Henry tried to duck the bottom to avoid it. Couldn't get around as Causey goes back up the hill, head on into the fence. Sabilo caught in it as well. That was a lot of fast race cars that just got tore up there.
Major implications.
Just one of them nights you just don't want to be up at the front.
Also, judging by the round of next week's race, I would say that it is the last race of the regular season.
10-4. Also, it appears that we have been joined up here in the booth by championship hopeful driver of the 6 machine, Brandon Pasalacqua. And first off, man, what a wild night it has been here. How are you feeling? Because it did not go the way you were hoping.
No, it was a bad deal for me all the way around. Shifter went out 20 or 30 laps in, so I had to deal with that, and then finally following my way up in the top 10, and I didn't know that was a place not to be tonight. So, yeah, just another one of the drivers having bad luck, but that's part of racing.
Well, unfortunate turn of events for you here. Definitely not what you were looking for in the point standings either, as Paul Hill's still out here running pretty well in 4th place. It feels kind of like a tables turn situation to when we had Paul Hill up in the booth for Indianapolis while you're out there just scorching it.
Yeah, but, hopefully it gives me some good luck going forward. But
here's hoping. It's worked. It's worked well for Paul, and we got Daytona coming up. I know you're pretty good at them super speedways.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've gotten pretty lucky, and I got some great teammates, and I've raced with a lot of these guys for a long time. So people, I work well with a lot of people. So definitely looking forward to it. But that's a wild card, Sheldon. So I don't place a bet on there. I just go there and hope to have fun.
Absolutely. Well, it's what do you think the culprit's been here tonight? We've seen a lot of incidents, which is I'm not throwing any shade or anything at anybody here because OB Builders Cup Series always puts on a great product, but it just seems like one of those nights where you know, everybody's just running through the yard, and you know they got rakes underneath the leaves, and they just keep smacking themselves in the face.
Yeah, I don't know. For me in the driver's seat, Sheldon, tonight seems like there's a lot less give and take. For whatever reason it is, I'm not sure. But we've had such a string of great races, you know, and so you're going to get one of these races every now and then. And it's our third short track in a row. So I'm sure there's some tempers boiling over, and some people just want to have good runs. And there's a lot of guys up there at the front that could use a good run. So yeah, it's hard racing out there, and that's short track racing for you.
Yeah, it's just short track racing. But we see right now the lights out on the iRacing pace cars. They roll through 3 and 4 here. Get ready to kick things back off here at the Magic Mile. 40 laps on the board. When they come to the line, it'll be 39 to go for Patrick Gitter and Evan Say. Into the BK Designs restart zone. Good clean launch again there for the 21 machine. The Team Conti Chevrolet pulls ahead here at the start-finish line. Up to the top of the track now, back down, working the inside lane for Patrick Gitters. You see Evan Say almost gets turned around off the nose of Chris Vincent, up the hill for the 333. They keep it together for now. Almost got to see another massive crash here.
Just the slightest of touches there, but great drive by Evan Say and able to hold on to P2 as he's just tracking about half a second behind our leader, Patrick Gitter, still on his magical 2-tire call.
And this right here, this is where Patrick Gitter is hoping it stays green to the end. You know, he had that little bit of breakup there between him and Evan because of the contact behind him. The question is he going to get that? As you see Kenny Powell up here making moves.
And Kenny Powell getting side by side with Chris Vincent. Oh, Chris Vincent loosened up the wall.
Saves it.
Yeah, just as I finished mentioning them there, we saw the tires flare up, smoke, but he's able to keep it underneath them. Loses a couple positions, but still in the hunt.
He's going to have to be careful here, especially coming out turn 2. Levine down to the inside, though, trying to move up into the 6th spot. Sorry, the 7th spot. It's been an up and down night for the 19 Camry as well. And look at this, man. Chris Hudson still hanging on in the 6th position.
Benefield Powell battling just ahead of them, and Benefield gets down low and loose. Looks like Powell's going to have quite the run off here in comparison due to that. And I said it, so it never came true. Benefield able to hold on.
Yeah, but how about this run for Kenny Powell? I mean, like I said, it's been an up and down start with him here in the OB Builders Cup Series, but tonight just putting together a stellar run from New Hampshire. You know, it's been a night of attrition, a lot of mistakes made throughout the field. You know, a lot of the big hitters are not in it right now, but, you know, the most important role when it comes to racing is, you know, in order to win it, you must make it to the end, and a lot of these guys, you know, have kind of shot themselves in the foot, but Vincent around sideways, picking up the 25 machine on the back straightaway. I don't think that was a 25. That's one of the cars. No, it was 23. It was John Bender.
And after this incident, we have air quota from earlier that we were talking about, as we are on caution 8 now, I believe. They're just battling loose.
It's just so treacherous coming out of turn 2. I mean, Brandon, you've been in the car all night. I'm sure you've had a couple near-miss moments with turn 2 yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I tried my best to stay as low coming off that corner and not throttle it. There's that little bump there coming off the exit. If you're not mindful, definitely it's easy to get turned around there. So Chris Vincent's had a fast car tonight, but looks like we just right here is where the car snaps loose, and once it does that, it's hard to have any control. But yeah, it's a tough deal.
Yeah, this next-gen car, it just always feels like once you try to counter with the slide or against the slide, it loads up that left rear spring as opposed to the live axle cars where, you know, the left spring kind of feels a little bit like a dummy spring. You go to counter steer it, turn it right, and, you know, the car just kind of stays with you. With this next-gen car, as soon as you swap back, it hooks and it digs and throws you right out of the pocket.
It definitely does. And Sheldon, you asked me kind of what I think is going on tonight, and, you know, I mentioned that not a lot of give and take, but this track invites it. I'm sure that you probably mentioned it and covered it already, but like, there's 4 lanes you can go into the corner, right? But there's only one spot you're going to meet on exit, so it's hard to manage that. It's you're 2, 3, almost 4 wide coming off exit, and the restarts are hectic. So yeah, there's not a lot of give and take, but this is a track that invites a lot of hard racing as well.
This is the way I've always looked at this place is you've got all the options in the world on where you can run, but the problem is nowhere that you choose to run at this track will you get away from the car that you're battling. You need them to make a mistake when you're passing. It's so hard to make a move here and actually have it stick and hold on. And it kind of, you know, it's like what we saw, you know, what we saw last year when we came to Pocono. You've only got such a small window on when you're going to be able to easily make a pass. Once you get past that restart, you know, you've really got to do something big to make something happen.
You do, and that's where everyone's going all out the first 5 to 10 laps. And if you don't make a move, then you have to wait until lap 40, right, before cars start falling off. And unfortunately, we have not gotten to lap 40 too many times tonight. So, yeah, now it's, you know, it turns into a little bit of an open mindset where it's like, hell, I'm just going to give it all I can give it all I can give now, and make up as many positions as possible.
And who do you think's most dangerous in this situation right now? You've been around these guys all year.
Oh, man, most dangerous in terms of who's going to go out there and try their ass off is that 19 car in 6th spot. So I tried following him throughout the field all today. Him and I were kind of back and forth as we got back in the pack. But you can be sure that Levine's going to make it high and wide as we go green here.
And into the BK Designs restart zone back underway here. Good launch again for the 21 machine of Patrick Gitter. Going to pull ahead a couple car links here down into turn 1 over the 333 machine of Evan Say. Say working the inside line, though, gets close up to the quarter panel, but Patrick Gitter shuts the door in his face. Now here comes Benefield to the bumper.
And right behind them, side by side, Levine battling with Paul Hill, our points leader.
And for second, all the way down to the grass, Adam Benefield trying to get past the 333 machine. Evan Say, though, gets a good launch out of turn 4. Meanwhile, behind, Justin Levine is going to clear the 26 machine of Paul Hill. Levine now scoots up to 4th, closing to the back bumper of his Team Conti Sim Performance teammate as we see Evan Say working the inside line here again, trying to get past the 21 machine of Gitter.
Taking a look a little bit further back, no side-by-side action until we get around P10, 11, 12 in the battle right there. That is Becerra, Medina, and Johnson.
DeCiani trying to get back into the mix here after the contact with Causey.
I'm not sure how much.
Just set the team pretty fastest lap here on lap 172.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much damage DeCiani got on that caution before, but I know that being back here is a pain. So you can have one of the faster cars on the track, but the dirty air here is tough. And even if you have the faster car and you get clean air on entry, it's hard to make a stick on exit.
Meanwhile, we got a 3-horse fight up here at the lead. Adam Benefield gets a little bit of a shove to the back of the 333 machine. Patrick Gitter gets moved into the corner off the nose of Evan Say. Benefield checks up. Here comes Evan Say down to the bottom, down the back straightaway. Gets up to the quarter panel, tries to throw a little bit of a side draft, now sending it deep into turn 3, trying for the slider. It's not going to be enough, though. Patrick Gitter rockets around the outside lane. Good momentum here out of turn 4. Pulls ahead by a door at the line. And here comes Benefield closing back up. Getting a little bit of clean air through the middle there as he's got Justin Levine all over the back bumper behind him. Now the back straightaway, Evan Say is going to pull ahead out of turn 2. Patrick Gitter tries to fight back, but not going to have enough. Here comes the slider. Evan Say shuts the door in his face, but here comes Gitter down underneath with a crossover, and Benefield all the way down to the apron.
And it's a battle with the 83 and 19 because they have 20-lap fresher tires if my apps are correct. So they want... The 83 wants me for the 19 to go attack that.
Oh, here comes Levine. Benefield doesn't get a good run through 1 and 2. Justin now around the outside on the freshest tires. A little bit of a hip check there from Benefield.
What a push by Levine to battle and get up to the P2. At least fight for it.
Well, we all know up here that Levine's crazy. He's going to give it all he's got every lap, and that's what you're seeing right now. There we go, 19 up to P2. Benefield falls back in line in 3rd. As he tries to hold the 21 machine of Patrick Gitter behind him. And it's been about as up and down as it gets here for Justin Levine today. I mean, he's, floated around the top 10 at points. Been a lap down because of a caution coming out in the middle of a pit sequence. Had a pass-through penalty. It's been all over here for the 19 machine. Now he's sitting in 2nd place with fresher tires than your race leader, getting ready to attempt to make a pounce here to take the win as he gets up to the back bumper of Evan, almost on the bumper cover, leaning on him out of turn 2.
It looks like he does have the momentum and just got to pick his time and make his move.
I think he's going to go for it now. Down to the bottom here through 3 and 4. Justin Levine using the shorter diameter of the track with the fresher Goodyear Eagles, and it's going to be enough, able to close the door down the front straightaway. And from 0 to hero, Justin Levine up at the point here. Ebsay going to try and fight back attempts for a crossover, but not going to be enough in it now. Here comes Benefield up to the back bumper.
Benefield looking to make the same move as Levine, get to the inside of Evan and get around, but he doesn't have the freshies quite like Levine had. He's not able to pull it off.
I think part of the issue is, too, you know, we saw Justin kind of working that middle lane, and it was working really good for the 19. I'm wondering if this is going to work. Yes, it does. Benefield cycles up to that first groove there, and he's able to get the job done. Maybe just kind of hurting himself running that apron now. And Benefield going to move up to second place now, trying to set his sights on the school bus in front of him, driven by Justin Levine.
Thursday nights is actually one of the best nights to buy die casts on Whatnot, just so you know.
Oh, well, the more we know. Just hopefully we don't bump into Daniel Dye over there. There's my mic drop of the race, everybody. Sorry about that.
I'm confused. You sell stuff on there?
No, the last time he got removed from a car was because of things he was saying on a Whatnot stream. And
Yeah,
Paul
yeah,
Hill
I
almost
remember.
loses it in 1 and 2. But he's
forgot
able to
about
get
that.
past. Here comes Evan Say up to the back bumper, trying to take a peek to the inside.
Yeah, with the positions between Levine and Paul Hill, it's not going to be enough points for Levine to get ahead of Paul Hill in the point standings. But definitely going to close it up, and that's everything Levine needs. And Paul's just trying to make it as small as a gain as possible.
Yeah, and this has got to be the worst case situation for our guest commentator here right now, too. You know, Pasalakwa was leading coming in, and, you know, behind the wall right now, up here in the booth with us, and he's watching the two guys that he's fighting in this title, running first and third currently.
Yeah, both drivers are doing a great job and well-deserved. They've been fast all year, and these short tracks have suited them well. What'll be interesting here is seeing this 95. He's got 10 to 15 lap fresher tires than the top 3 here, so it'll be interesting to see if he can make them on these last 17 laps.
Well, PB Henry with fresh tires, I'd bet on that, because we know how aggressive PB Henry can be behind the wheel, and this is one of them situations where, you know, the PB of old could really shine here, because you got to get by these guys quick with those fresh Goodyear Eagles, and those CFM Chevrolets have just been so quick here from New Hampshire this week. I don't see how he couldn't be a challenger here in the closing stages as he's going door to door here, grabs the door a little bit of Paul Hill, moving him up the hill through 1 and 2. Pun not intended.
No, aren't they teammates?
Negative.
Oh, okay. I always thought they were.
In seasons past, but not this season.
Ah, that's why.
Yeah,
PB
Paul
did
Hill.
come on the radio and said he didn't mean to, but hey, up here in the booth, it's fun watching it.
No, absolutely. As long as they keep him pointing in the right directions, I think the last thing any of us want to see is another caution here tonight.
And we are looking at about 8 laps difference between the leader and P4 of PB Henry.
Mr. Excitement itself going to send it down to the bottom here into turn 3. All the way down to the apron now. Take a look off the right front fender here of PB Henry. Oh, that camera's been shoved into the fence. We don't have that anymore for the rest of the race. No, we still got the left side door for now. We'll find a way to get that, I'm sure. Oh, and look at this send down into turn 3. PB Henry just flying into turn 3, trying to get the quarter panel of Paul Hill, and it looks like he might succeed. No, Paul just barely clears, shuts the door back in his face here at the start-finish line.
Oh.
And PB sends him around into Benefield.
Oh!
Oh, get her behind on the locking up the tires.
Oh. Sends it way deep into turn one. It's right in the back of him. And look at this, Patrick Gitter just with a sympathy spin here, trying to avoid the incident in front of him. 21 machine gets loose. Or Paul Hill here. Oh man, I don't know how PB thought that was going to stick, honestly, if Paul wasn't in front of him. Because you saw how fast Paul got shot up to the back bumper of Benefield there. Benefield and Paul braking at the same point that they had been. It's... You know, at the same time, though, I mean, he was tucked up to the back bumper of Paul Hill coming in there. I don't know if he necessarily was able to see his brake indicator.
Yeah, I believe PB Henry figured he had enough room that because he seemed like he was pretty committed on going high, and just figured there would be a little bit more time to actually get to the high side.
But how about that save from Paul Hill? I mean, that car should have absolutely been packed rear end first into the wall. Him and Gitter, just incredible wheelmen.
So it looks like Justin Levine, Benefield, Say, Hill, Becerra, and Hudson all went down pit road, and that is why we are seeing PB Henry in the lead.
That was a caution a lot of these guys didn't want to see. It is going to completely change the complexion of this race. PB Henry now your race leader after the contact with Paul Hill. That put us under the yellow. DeCiani going to take over second spot here. You know, this is a self-policing sport, Brandon. I mean, do you expect, you know, everybody to run PB extra clean here after that happened?
Yeah. Well, we'll see here. I'm surprised we had people come down pit road. I know Levine and Benefield had 50-lap tires, but with in a league where there's no green-white checkered, and being in the lead, I'm staying out all day, especially with the type of race we've had. So it's going to be interesting here with the pace car's lights off. See if those fresh tires, if they grab some, we're going to make a difference here.
He was able to get back up to P5, so
I can tell you one. I can tell you one thing. Levine's probably got that that left rear diffuser rake dragging the ground right now as much crossways he threw into that thing.
I guarantee he'll be 3 wide into one here. Let's see.
100%. And back under green here. The inside lane not going to get the jump, though. Heavy issues there from DeCiani. Benefield going to cut down to the bottom here. Going to try and send it deep into turn one to get to your race leader. And Benefield almost loses it. Up the hill, quarter panel into DeCiani. Down the back straightaway, Benefield still fighting demons. Down to the inside. Here comes DeCiani up into the side of the 83 machine. A little bit of contact here as the battle for second heats up. It ain't going to work, man. We're not going to make it.
They're wrecking.
And, yeah. Why wouldn't we? Oh, for Pete's sake. Hey, Kenny, no, man. Oh, what a great run he was having tonight, too. Dang it.
5 wide, we'll do that.
Brian Johnson looks like he and Say may have gotten together a little bit there.
Luis Becerra just out of nowhere. Kenny Powell all up in his grill.
Poor Becerra here. Oh, man. He thought he dodged a bullet, then he ended up hitting a brick.
So PB Henry able to hold on to the lead. Adam Benefield second, Matt DeCiani in third, and looks like Levine was able to gain a position on that restart. Same with Paul Hill.
Levine starting on the outside here.
Yes.
Oh boy. Y'all better get the popcorn ready.
And as we continue on, the temperature has dropped even more. 92 degrees on track, 83 air temperature, and humidity has risen a little bit. Air speed temperature, sorry, the air speed about the same as we move on throughout the night, but definitely some major differences in the track as we've dropped over 20 degrees now.
I'll tell you what, it's been a chaotic night. We've had a lot of incidents. We got a lot of short fuses here. What are you expecting on this 5-lap shootout?
I expect the 83 and the 19 to be there at the end. If they can get a run till the end without a caution, I think those will be the two cars to watch with the fresher tires. But I will say, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Sheldon, PB won at Indianapolis earlier this year by staying out and later in the race. He had a fast car all day, but I think he stayed out and played the track position game. So do not count the 95 out.
I would never count the 95 out. I've ran against PB Henry for a long time here on the sim, and I can tell you one thing. When it comes to a late race restart, when it comes to being clutch in a high-pressure moment, PB Henry is going to be one that's going to give you 110% of the car, even if it's only 90% of a car.
He's going to need every bit of these last 5 laps.
Yeah, he's good, but he's got some of the best around him as well. It's going to be an absolute all-star shootout here to the finish, so long as we can keep it green, and I pray to God that we do, because I want to see him come to the line and take the checkered flag, not the caution. The iRacing pace car makes a descent down pit road. Field in the hands of PB Henry and Adam Benefiel here into the BK Designs restart zone. Back underway, outside line with a good launch. A little bit better for the inside this time. Justin Levine working the outside line, trying to get by. And here comes Benefiel. PB Henry tried to block the 19 machine. Here comes Levine back to the bottom. He's going to be side by side for second. Benefiel takes over the lead down the back straightaway.
Yeah, I thought Levine was going to go for the split, but he elected to just tuck it down behind Benefiel and just try and drive to the end.
And PB Henry going to struggle here. Now it's going to be Benefiel versus Levine to figure out who's going to win it tonight. Evan Sayes worked up into the mix. Back in third place. What's he going to be capable of? That 333 machine led so much of the early stages of the race, but feels like with the strategy and the cautions, as well as the track temp changes, Paul Hill's around. No!
God dang.
Oh, and a huge crash on the back straightaway.
That's going to give it to Benefiel as your winner, most likely.
And that
I don't know, 3-lap cautions. Could we possibly get a 1-lap dash?
Oh.
Not sure about that. It all depends if anyone comes down pit road, but
Y'all stay out.
Paul
Stay
Hill with a heartbreaker of a finish.
He just got loose. That's the first mistake that Paul Hill has made all night here from New Hampshire.
Yeah, unfortunately, not the time to be making it when you're in the final 5 of the race.
Boy, Paul Hill here and just
You're just
gets
trying
loose
to get all
over the
you
transition.
can get here.
You hear the frustration in his foot there after he spun out, just laying in the gas as hard as he could.
It was such a good night, too. The contact with PB Henry really threw off the flow of the race there for Paul Hill, and it's definitely not what he was looking for here.
And I think we might have a 1-lap dash.
1-lap dash from New Hampshire with what we've seen here tonight is going to be insane. Well, Brandon, being high up on the totem pole here in the OB Builders Cup Series, you guys aren't gonna be penalizing these boys too much next week, are you?
I think not tonight. I think really it's just, the only thing we've been worried about these last month or two is intentional wrecking. So, Sheldon, you get races like this in every series, in every league around the world, real life or virtual. So, it's good to get it out of your system a little bit, and we'll go to Daytona and have a good race next week.
Last thing Benefiel probably wants to see right now, lights out on the iRacing pace car, but
That's cruel.
Yeah, he thought he had it there for a moment.
He took the outside as well.
No, I think
Yeah.
he's still got it, man. He's going to have such a big advantage with the restart zone here. I don't know if Levine, it's going to come down to if Levine's able to time it and also how aggressive Levine wants to race against a fellow driver from the Team Conti stable.
There's 4 drivers you want to see battle it out till the end. You got them right here in your top 4. This will be exciting.
No, these are the best of the best, and it encompasses all drive styles too. You got the absolute send 10-10 every lap. That'd be Justin Levine. You got the dirt track ace here with Evan Say. You got Adam Benefiel, Patrick Gitter, both smooth-handed drivers who can get the most out of a long run. I'm interested to see what happens here as we get ready to roll through the BK Designs restart zone for a one-lap shootout here from New Hampshire. Good clean launch there for the 83 machine here at the start-finish line. And Benefiel pulls ahead, but here comes Levine trying to close, sends it deep into the corner. Not enough grip, maybe. Gets a good drive. Not going to be enough, though. Benefiel pulls ahead out of turn 2, but Patrick Gitter losing a spot here. Here comes Evan Say to the bottom into 3. Down through 3 and 4 here for the final time at New Hampshire. Adam Benefiel holding the lead. Justin Levine charging, trying to close up, but it's not going to be enough. Levine doesn't get the drive, and across the line to win at New Hampshire, it's going to be Benefiel. And how about that, man? It's been a while since Father Time's gotten it done.
Hey, we're going to have a great interview.
Oh, yeah. That is for sure. Patrick Gitter will give a little bit of a congratulatory bump to the rear bumper of Adam Benefiel. As Benefiel would refer to it as a great father-son bonding experience there between those two. Burning it down here on the front straightaway. I'll tell you what, man, it was chaotic as you could imagine New Hampshire race to be, but some great racing throughout the stages of the night.
I think that 83 car is going to be super excited. That he's had a fast car these last 3 weeks. I know he's been wanting the W at North Wilkesboro and then at Richmond, so I know he'll be happy about this week.
We'll have to keep the laugh track rolling here because I know this interview is about to be insane. But coming across the line with Team Birdie fastest lap of the race is going to be the 95 machine of PB Henry with a 28.958. Race winner, though, up 7 spots from his qualifying position. Adam Benefiel with Justin Levine up from deep in the pack, coming home P2. Third place goes to the 21 machine of Patrick Gitter with Evan Say coming home 4th. Fifth place is going to be the 5 machine of Matt DiCiani with PB Henry in 6th. 7th goes to Brian Johnson. Great run there for Brian Johnson because that went sideways a couple times there for him tonight. Chris Hudson finally gets the monkey up his back here with a top 10 finish, coming home P8 with John Bender, another stellar run in 9th, and Paul Hill running at the top 10.
Kenny Powell taking home P11 tonight with Michael Figliera right behind him. Behind him, Randy Mullins taking home P13 in his first race back after a few weeks off with Jose Medina in P14. Luis Becerra, P15 in the 1 car. And I am having a problem here. Let's go back. Tim Wortman Jr., 16. Chris Vincent, P17. P18 belonged to Joseph Causey with Chad Kiddy in P19. P20, Keegan Spilo. P21, Tyler Hunter with Luke Christian in 22nd. 23rd was Brandon Pasalacqua. Greg Carr in 24th, and rounding out the field tonight was Mark Sanchez.
And a wild 200 laps from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. And, as crazy as it was, I think this is one of the podiums that we could have predicted, though. And we're going to start things off here with our 3rd place finisher, driver of the number 21 Chevrolet. Let me get him moved up here real quick. And sitting here alongside of the driver of the Team Conti Sim Performance 21 Chevrolet, a bit of a change up in the paint scheme, but not a change up in the results here. Patrick Gitter, it was a chaotic night, but you showed a lot of pace here this evening. How are you feeling?
Yeah, man, feel good. It's a fun race. First half, we needed a little bit of work on our car. Towards the end, we were able to get some short fuel adjustments in it based on kind of how the cautions were splitting the race at the end, and we were ripping. Felt like we had as good a car as anybody. We just got fell fell short on the tire lottery there. Unfortunately, felt like.
So, how frustrating, as a driver, because it was a caution-filled night here. There was a lot of short fuses, a lot of bent emotions. How's it feel to be done with it? Because it gets treacherous out there behind the wheel when you end up with stuff like this.
Yeah, it can. I feel like New Hampshire, especially, we just came from Richmond. There's more banking there. I feel like people can hold on to the cars a little bit better. But here in New Hampshire, man, there's virtually no banking. A lot of people are using different lanes. A lot of people are taking different exits, trying to get as straight as exit as possible. You're kind of chopping people a little bit, depending on who's getting off the corner high, who's low. So yeah, I mean, it's easy to get frustrated. Whether you're getting frustrated with guys hitting each other, chopping each other, trying to get straight exits off, or if it's tire lottery frustration, it's any of the above here. But I enjoy running New Hampshire nonetheless. I mean, you really have to control the rear wheel slip and keeping the nose angle where you want it. So it's fun. It's just it can be frustrating at the same time.
We'll kind of round out the normal questions here. How you feeling about your chances next week when you go from the tire lottery this week to the literal lottery of Daytona Superspeedway?
I don't know, man. I never know. I feel like our plate car has been pretty stout all year for several years. We've had to make some adjustments to it as the updates have come out on this car over the course of the seasons and the years. But I feel like Matt and I work together as good as anybody at the super speedways if we can make it to the end. So we just gotta get there. If we can make it to the end, we'll have a shot. We'll see.
Well, I'm wishing you good fortune because it's it's been hit or miss for just about everybody this year. I mean, we don't even have a championship favorite at this point in the season. What do you think really contributes to that? Because most weeks it hasn't really been that chaotic.
That's one thing I like the most about this league is that the competition is so balanced. You truly don't know who's going to win any given race, and the track temp, the weather conditions are typically a little bit different from officials. So you just don't know what guys are going to show up with, who's adjusted on their car, who's bringing what. So I love that about this league. I mean, there's not one person that's just dominating every week. It's very balanced, and I feel like there's a lot of good camaraderie just within the group. So I mean, I've really cut down on a lot of the racing that I do now. This is really about it for me during the week, except for maybe some testing here and there. We don't do as much testing as we used to either, but this is worth the time for me. So just appreciate the guys that put in the work to run the league. It's a lot of fun.
Well, man, we're glad to see you out there on the track this evening. Who all do you want to thank and shout out for this podium performance in New Hampshire?
Yeah, man, you guys in the booth for calling the race. Matt did a great job finding what we needed on the car this week. Obviously ran a different paint scheme, just supporting the Team Conti guys this week. Matt and I are building our own A cars, but I run their B car, truck, and some officials on rare occasion. But just a good excuse to bring out an old favorite scheme of mine this week with the Conti group. So good excuse to pull that out this week, and just appreciate those guys and what they stand for and what they do for the community.
Well, buddy, good having you up here in the booth. Congratulations on the podium. Try to kick your feet back and relax. I'm sure that blood pressure needs to go down a little bit after what we had happen here tonight.
Yes, sir. Yep, definitely. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And I'm going to hand it on over to my producer here, Austin Derbyshire, with our second place finisher here, some guy named Justin Levine. Oh, look at that smile.
Yeah, welcome. A fresh new look photo, Justin Levine to the booth. How was your race? What can you tell me about it? Coming home P2.
I could finally breathe again, calm down, sign of relief. What went wrong was everything, but somehow ended up P2. Had a chance for the win there until that last caution or late cautions, whatever it was. I think we have like 2 now after that run. But I got damage on a restart from Luis, and the car just completely went to crap, and I had no rear downforce at all. I was just drifting off every corner, And I told Kazi and Keegan in Discord I'm going to pit right here at lap 100 or 101. And as soon as I did, I'm coming out. I'm looking. I'm like, all right, we're going to be 2 away from the lucky dog spot. And there goes Kazi looping it. And got stuck a lap down. Got my lap back. Got a black flag for too many incidents. Came back. We're all over the place.
Yeah, that was most certainly one of the things I was going to touch upon was the unfortunate incident when the yellow came out when you're on pit road, and then also how you just got back on track when the other caution came out from serving your black flag. But we are going to Daytona next week, and as we all know, that Daytona is one of your best tracks. What do you expect to happen there next week?
I feel like everyone's going to be pretty cautious at first, especially with the low incident that we're allowed in here. But I think once it's about 20 laps to go, it's going to be absolute chaos. It's very hard to come from back to front, and you have to be very aggressive and go with the motions and throw the blocks. So I really hope Netcode doesn't get a couple people DQ'd when they didn't wreck.
Yes, most certainly. It's going to be a green flag all the way or a caution fest, and a bunch of people are going to be disqualified, unfortunately. But that's Daytona for you. Who do you like to thank? Who gets you to the track each week in the Whatnot 19?
Well, first off, you guys. Best in the biz. Great Division always puts up such a show. Can't wait to go back and watch the broadcast here. Team Conti, another absolute rocket this week. And, of course, all the viewers.
Well, thank you, Justin. I'll let you get on your way, and I'll send it back to Sheldon as he sits down with the race winner, the 83 of Adam Benefield.
Absolutely, and we're going to pull up driver the number 83 Chevrolet right now. Father Time himself has entered the booth, and we have our race winner, Adam Benefield. And Adam, what's the first emotion right now?
I'm just so happy, man. God, dog. I mean, damn. We finally did it.
It's been a long time coming, man. You've had a lot of chances where it, you look like you had it sealed and it just, come up short or strategy doesn't fall in your favor. I mean, just what's going through your mind right now, brother?
Just, number one thing is I got to get this off my chest before I get into anything. This one right here is for a really, really good friend of ours, Kevin. This W is for him. He's been doing the Lord's work here lately. So shout out to Kevin. Thank you for everything. We couldn't do this without him. So shout out Kevin. Yeah, not Kevin King. Let's get that straight. Definitely not shouting out him. This is a different Kevin. So yeah, shout out to Kevin.
Well, heck yeah. Thank you, Kevin. So been a bit of a up and down, rocky season here and there. Flashes of brilliance. Get the job done here tonight. Do we think this is the start of Adam Benefield that we're used to seeing this year?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I hope, it's here of late it's been kind of crazy. Haven't really got to race a whole lot, especially this week. So this was kind of like the first laps that, besides like testing Sunday, that I've really ran. So I knew the car felt good, like during test sessions. I mean, this place, I, in my opinion, I got both my teammates are probably the two goats around this place, with Conti and Audi. So it was the first time in my 14, however many years I've been on this sim that I was able to hang with them throughout a whole entire 30-lap run. And just think Kevin King's in the chat.
Yeah. I gave him a move for you.
That's funny. Yeah, I knew the car was good, for me, for my liking, because I was, like I said, I was able to hang with them throughout the run. Normally, like I am in every single race, I start matching them toward the end of the run, but they're already, 7 seconds ahead of me. So that was kind of cool. And then, we just rode. We had a good car. I thought it was going to come down between me and Evan. Evan's been just freaking crazy fast all week watching officials, and he's just gotten, he's either made, mistakes or on himself or something's happened to him. And so I thought it was going to come down to him. And, I got to messing, joking around, trying to keep it light. I know Evan from growing up with Evan, racing karts together growing up. So I was just trying to play little mind games with him, and then all hell broke loose. So I killed somebody. I got killed. I almost killed myself in an inside wall, and then the caution come out at the right time, and I was able to put two. Conti said throw 2 tires on it. I didn't know what the hell was going to happen. We went down into turn 1, and that thing, I looked like Kenny Powers riding his jet ski across the lake. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was out of control, and we come out on the other end.
So one thing I noticed tonight, most years that we come here to New Hampshire, it always feels like that. I dubbed it the Conti line myself years ago, just that run about a half inch off of the grass on both ends of the track, and somehow you get the drive up out of the corner. It kind of felt like that wasn't as dominant this year, though, as it has been in seasons past. Do you think there was something different with it, or were you just not showing your hand early?
Oh, I mean, kind of felt like the later into the race it went. I couldn't, earlier I was, from where I was, I kind of noticed that it was really just me and Evan rolling that down there. And it seemed like when the track cooled off, it kind of went away. And so, that's the thing. Man, with the dynamic track here that they've, put in and all that stuff where you can move around, it's kind of like it was back in the day when I was going for Coke. That dynamic track, in practice or test sessions, and even tonight, we could run from the white line by the grass or a lane off the wall. It was just stupid how many options you had. But it seemed like the cooler the track got, it just, those lanes just kind of crept back to the old traditional seam. So I don't know. I don't know if it was if it's been like that all week or if it was just like that for this race. But that's just the biggest thing I noticed tonight.
Well, you survived the lottery here tonight. Same thing I said to Patrick earlier. How you feeling when you come to the Florida State lottery next week at Daytona?
Oh, jeez. I don't know. I'll end up on the hook or in the catch fence or something. I don't know how to race super speedways. If I ride, I wreck. If I go up front, then I end up in the catch fence. I don't know what the hell to do to be good at plate racing or whatever the hell they're calling it now, drafting tracks or whatever. So we're going to show up, and maybe Kevin will lead us to another W. I don't know.
Well, you can't do as bad as I did Sunday night in my league. So I think I hit everything aside from the hot dog stand on pit road. It was not a good look. I've been getting roasted by Justin all week over it anytime I join the Discord. But,
No.
Well, congratulations on the dub here tonight, man. It's good to see you back in victory lane. Who all do you want to thank and shout out for this big win?
Yeah, just like I said, thanks to Kevin and everybody at TCSP and all of our community and supporters. I forgot what league I was running. Everybody over here, OB. Yeah, I only run freaking 2 leagues. Oh my god.
Well, I mean,
everybody over here, OB.
Realistically, with the cautions, man, it didn't 100% feel like OB. I know it's not. It's New Hampshire. It ends up like that.
Dude,
NIS and A Open has been terrible this year.
I'm telling you that, and I've had a day, and I've been drinking since I got home, so forgive me. But yeah, everybody over here at OB that puts this thing on is pretty damn cool. Pretty fun to come and race with the caliber of guys that you can race against and have. This is New Hampshire. It's going to happen, but, it's normally clean, hard racing, and I enjoy the hell out of that. But big thanks to Gritcast. That's looking good. I love the layout. Looking forward to firing back up the stream and trying it myself. And I'm, want to give that stuff a try because it really does look really freaking good, dude. You've done a hell of a job with that, Darby.
Thank you.
But,
thank you. We've got a lot of bugs. We'll be back grinding as soon as we're done here tonight.
Hey, As long it's you got a damn good product, and I'm looking forward to seeing it down the road. But yeah, you guys for broadcasting. Like I said before, my favorite broadcast. Y'all don't overhype any one person. Y'all know the drivers, and I think that's lacking a lot in the world today of broadcasting for sim racing. So yeah, I appreciate everything y'all do, and I'm gonna shut the hell up and go.
Yeah. Oh, you can stay up here all you want. We could have a party in here after it's all over if you want. It's always a good time having you up here in the booth, man. But just glad to see you get the job done here tonight. And God, what a chaotic night of racing here, Darby. I mean, New Hampshire, it always puts on a show some kind of way, doesn't it?
Almost certainly. I think we're very fortunate to have this league as one of the rosters that we broadcast. Ever since we first started broadcasting last year, it quickly became number one. Not that many cautions, and like I've said before in the past, races like this, even though we had 9 cautions, it never felt that way because they were all cautions due to people just racing, no intentional wrecking and nothing like that this week. So we're all good.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit of a slugfest here tonight, but I mean, look, here, Pocono, Richmond, look, these guys made Richmond with only, 2 cautions?
Yeah, something like
that. They made Iowa with only 2 or 3 yellows. I don't even remember us getting that many cautions at Pocono. You go anywhere on iRacing, you go to any of those tracks, you're not getting through 3 laps green. I promise you. Gateway, it's a wreck fest every time we go there.
We did
because these are, these are tracks that I'll always refer to and dub as desperation tracks because you have 2 laps where you can make something happen directly after the restart. Then after that, you've made your bed, you got to line it for the rest of the night. You can't get by the guy in front of you because the arrow is so difficult to break through. It's so hard to find a way to be better than anybody when you have such a finite level of grip when you come to these flat tracks with this next-gen car. And everybody, it's not like it was when I started on here back in 2018. Everybody had something entirely different setup-wise. These teams, these setup shops, these drivers have all figured out exactly where that threshold is for these cars, and everybody, whether it's the last car in the field or the first car, I guarantee you look at the lap times after 15 laps, and each one of them is running within 0.2 of a second of each other. That is how close the competition is, so you've got to find an advantage any way possible. And sometimes you just overstep that limit, you end up with a couple incidents, you end up with the car sideways out of turn 2 trying to push too hard, and that's just, hey man, that's just what it is. This next-gen car, it's a different beast to anything else on the sim. But all in all, these guys put on a good show here tonight. Great finish there. I mean, we had 4 of the best drivers in this field all breathing down each other's neck, coming to go green flag for a 1-lap shootout restart, and somehow the entire field was able to make it to the checkered flag after that. But from the entire Grid Vision team, we'd like to thank you for watching and participating in the chat. For more information on getting your league broadcasted or supported by gridvision.live, contact us on Facebook, Discord, or info@gridvision.live. A special thanks, as always, goes out to Andrew Cardinal IV of Whiplash Sim Cams, providing the beautiful cameras used on all of Grid Vision's broadcasts. Congratulations again to Adam Benefiel on winning here tonight from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. This has been Sheldon Atkins. I've been joined by the excellent Austin Derbyshire down here in the truck as well as in the booth. And also, be sure to check out gridcast.gg if you want to see some really cool stuff changing the world of sim racing broadcasts. At least that's what our plan is to do here. But outside of all that, guys, we will see you next time on The Grid.